If you have a Canon EOS DSLR, then you should already have the EOS utility. If not, then you can follow this link. One note of caution, I upgraded to the new Sierra operating system for my Mac and ran into problems, so I had to downgrade back to El Capitan to get this to work. You do have to prevent the utility from launching every time. You turn the camera on, so you will have to make one slight change to the configuration. Go to the icon at the top of your screen and click on it and select Do Not Launch.
The demand for instant access to video is growing. People love the feel of live access. So in this video, we're going to show you 2 live streaming setups. I'm Mia with Kelby One. I know the words live streaming can sound really scary, but I'm going to break down the process and the gear you need in 5 simple steps. Now, while you can live stream from your smartphone, if you want better video quality, try using a professional camera. I'll show you an example in this video. We're going to cover wired and wireless live streaming, so if you need to be mobile with your camera, stay tuned. If you're looking for some more advanced advice involving multiple cameras, keep an eye out for the second video in this series. It'll cover some advanced options. First of all, the type of camera you choose is important. You want a camera that has a clean HDMI output. Most camcorders designed for video, like the one we're using here, the Canon XA25, has a clean HDMI output. But some DSLRs don't, and you'll see the display overlay with things like battery power and camera settings. That's no good, and it's extremely distracting on a live stream. So if you're working with a DSLR, make sure the HDMI signal is clean. Next, make sure you have access to the internet, either via Wi-Fi like I have here, or network cable. Make sure you're working on a dedicated line, not an open connection without firewall restrictions. This is super important to maintaining a strong and steady feed. A good speed to shoot for, if you're serious about producing a clean, uninterrupted feed, is 10 megabits per second upload and download speed. You have 2 options when it comes to live streaming. One is to stream wired, with a hard line connecting your camera to a capture device and the capture device to the computer. Now, this is the most reliable connection because you know that short of a wire coming loose, your signal should be uninterrupted. Let me explain what you'll need for this setup, and then we'll move on to a wireless setup. You'll start with a video camera that has a clean HDMI feed. Then you're going to need an HD capture device like this Blackmagic Design Ultra Studio mini recorder capture card. If you're only going to stream live, then the mini recorder is perfect. It's a device that captures the camera's HDMI video signal and outputs it to the computer via Thunderbolt with no quality loss. So because everything is hardwired, you shouldn't have a problem with latency. If your computer doesn't accept Thunderbolt peripherals, the Blackmagic Design Intensity Shuttle is an alternative which uses a USB 3.0 connection. You'll need an HDMI cable with the proper ends to connect the camera to the capture device. In our case, that's a mini HDMI to regular HDMI. Then you'll need a USB 3.0 cable or a Thunderbolt cable to connect the capture device to your computer. The good news is, that's all the hardware that you'll need for a wired live streaming setup. It's important to mention here that even with all the proper equipment, in order to stream high-definition video over the web, you'll need a computer that's up to the task. Most encoding platforms like Ustream, Livestream, and YouTube Live have recommended system requirements on their sites, but for starters, you'll need at least a quad-core processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and a dedicated video card, plus an updated operating system. Now, the other option is to stream wirelessly, making your camera portable so you can move around a location. Instead of a capture card like the Blackmagic one we featured, you'll need a wireless
Hey guys, here's an easy way to stream live with 2 cameras at the same time. First of all, you'll need 2 cameras with HDMI output. Then you use an adapter which captures this signal and sends it directly to your computer. Okay, now open a program called Open Broadcast Software. Here you can register your cameras and select which one is showing in your feed. Now open your YouTube.
I'm shaking, very, very nervous, but I felt like it went well. And when I get off of the stage at the bottom of the panels, there's Anita, and she seemed to be very, very upset. And I don't remember exactly what she said. I'm paraphrasing here, but she said it very upset. That I think it was very fucking uncool that you said what you said there at the end, knowing that no one else would have enough time to respond. And I bet you can imagine how that affected my anxiety, because the exact focal point of my anxiety for the entire weekend, in fact, for the last 6 weeks, the nightmare scenario that I was terrified of actually had come true. I had upset somebody who I very, very much had tried to not upset and did not want to upset. And that's the event that everybody's asking me about, and they're wondering if that's true, and that is true. But that's not the only thing that happened. There's this